So, again, happy International Women's Day 2024. This is the new initiative from our side. We'll create a inclusive rather than gender equality issues. And gender equality is a one of the key agenda for sustainable development goals, as you all know. And we all need to work together on that to achieve. You might say, like, you are male, why you are here, you know? So gender equality is not only male only or female only things. We all need to work together. So that's our vision. We know to achieve the one, it will take a long time. There was a World Bank report last year. They are predicting it will take more than 130 years or so. However, some countries are progressing remarkably, and one of the example for in Saudi has increased significantly. As you all know, my LinkedIn post is the highest growth rate of female labor participation in the world. So there are some challenges. There are some some encouraging, incredible stories around the globe, and through this platform, we all need to share our success stories, and that's the platform. Like, the this section will share the success stories, some challenges, how we can move forward. That's the whole goal. Anyway, I need to introduce my beautiful panel members. They are the what I call the young inspirational leaders from different countries. I have Her Highness Princess Abir Al Saud. She is the founder, dinner, advisory board member, and ambassador of our Center for Sustainability and Climate think tank in Prince Sultan University, Saudi Arabia. She has 20 years of experiences in social impact roles, scanning multilateral settings, sustainability, then peace building, development agencies, and non-profit organizations. She is dedicated to supporting global peace, culture, sustainability projects. During her time as director of European countries department at the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC), she has played a key role in spearheading and leading development policies to the six member states at the GCC. Some of her advocacy accomplishments include the establishment of peace building unit by a royal decree in Saudi Arabia. Congratulations. Contributing to the United Nations Resolution 1325 by involving 40% of female attendees to all the peace building workshops. She led and promoting awareness and adherence to international benchmarks of humanitarian and development assistance at the endorsement of the UN's SDG 8.6 to combat modern slavery and human trafficking, the establishment of the Saudi Secretariat to combat human trafficking. And today she has one of her interview has published in the article news paper as well in UAE. So thank you so much, Abid, for coming this event. We are very happy to have you.
Thank you, Professor. It's my honor, and I'm very delighted to be joining this session today.
Thank you so much. Then we have Miss Arwa Al Nasefi. She is the accounting lecturer at Yamama University. She is representing Kuwait. She is a lecturer at Al Yamama University. She has a bachelor degree in accounting and master's degree in accounting from Weathered School of Management at Case Western Reserve University from the US. She used to work at a local accounting firm in Kuwait at the audit training and research department, and she is focusing on tax, auditing, and so on. Thank you, Arwa, for joining and representing Kuwait. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Well, we have Miss Delma Iris Ramirez. She is the CEO and founder at no harm, United Arab Emirates. I call she is a global citizen. She is the US citizen, her background from Mexico, and she is in UAE. So she will bring a lot of different perspective. She thrives when collaborating in international teams and enjoys conflict resolution. She has over 8 years of experiences in sustainability strategy consulting, integrated reporting, impact technology across various industries and geographical region. She has worked at forefront of sustainability innovation and those transitioning to green energy and diversity and inclusion practices. At No Harm Technology, she played a powerful role in fighting against climate change, environmental degradation, and justice. She worked with business to leverage the latest technologies, innovations to reduce their carbon footprint, optimizing operations, achieving sustainability goals. Very welcome, Delma. Uh,
Thank you, Professor. An honor to be here amongst uh, amazing panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we have Miss Aya Sharif. She's working in the Canadian University of Dubai, and she is representing Lebanon. She is the Regional Communications and Sustainability Manager in the GCC, also the SPSC Ambassador in the UK. She is member of the Global Sustainability Ambassadors in the Middle East region. She is enabling business to lead responsibly for the people and the planet. She is expert on the public relations and communications, sustainability strategy, event management ambassador, member of the Global Ambassador of Sustainability, and she got the award Sustainability Champion Award 2023. So welcome, Aya. We are proud to have you all in the panel. And today I will not say anything. I would like to hear your stories. So first of all, I would like to ask Princess Abir to share, like, your journey or your stories and how it was impactful to you and your country, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, so basically, when I started my career in sustainability, um, 12 years ago, right after I graduated from university, or actually, I think it was the third year. I was on my third year in university. I wasn't, I didn't know what sustainability is, and I decided to go and do some nonprofit projects on the field. And I think that led me, to the conclusion that you have to be working in the field and get your hands dirty, and be in proximity with the communities in order for you to design programs and projects that serves the sustainable development goals and any local sustainable agenda internationally and locally at the same time. So this was my journey. It started with me like venturing and taking a gap year to places like Vietnam and the Nile Basin area and some remote areas to serve different communities and different socioeconomic purposes. And that's, it was like a thread that was been weaving, and it led me later to wanting to, instead of doing this individually, I wanted to join an institution so that I could use all my in-field knowledge in as policy and advocacy, to make bigger impact. And that is why I decided to join multilateral organizations. I started with working with the GCC Secretariat for many years, and I also have experience working with some UN agencies at the same time. And I think it's very important for anyone who wants to pursue great impact uh, to try working you know, not just the, both are important, policy and advocacy at the desk and research and academia is important, but also going to the field helps. So you need to link both together. So that's how I started my career and passion in the past few years.
Yeah, okay. Um, Okay. Thank you so much, Abir, for sharing your journey. And I will come back to you again, how you are impacting the community and society in Saudi and globally as well. Arwa, would you like to share your journey when you
Yeah.
started, how you aspired to be where you are now? Yeah.
So I'm an accounting lecturer here in Riyadh. So I'm from Kuwait, but I'm working here in Saudi Arabia. So why did I choose to be an accounting lecturer, and what led me to that was my father. He's an accounting professor at Al University. So we're kind of working together in the same department. Growing up, seeing his passion, seeing how much he dedicated his time and all of his efforts into doing what he loves and studying accounting led me to want to actually study accounting and pursue that as a career. And thankfully, Kuwait is very supportive, and there's so there's no gender discrimination when it comes to scholarships and the gender roles in the in the work industry. So that kind of helped me as well, and kind of gave me a push to be where I am right now. And I've lived in the UK for most of my childhood, and I've lived in the States as well. So that kind of gave me a background on how people like internationally operate, and what's the difference between the GCC countries and international countries, and how much, alhamdulillah, we are so privileged to have such great governments that support us, and no discrimination. And that's such a great thing that wants you to actually want to give back. And when you actually think about it, the base of whatever is happening right now is financial. And most people that are having difficulties with these problems, it's actually a financial issue. So I'm an accounting professor. I love money, right? Everybody does. That's why I went into accounting. So, okay, let's fix the money issues. It's not how much you have, but how you can financially plan and how can you manage what you have right now. So I'm leading a financial literacy initiative at Al University, and I'm applying it into my classroom. So, okay, let's not just think big. Let's think of what I have right now. I have a bunch of students that are going to go into the world in a few years that need to plan their financials accurately. Let's start with them and let's help them. So I created a financial literacy program. Right now, I'm adjusting it to college students. So senior, like high school seniors, first year and second year students, but the program does include elementary students, middle school, high school, and even people in the workplace. And inshallah, hopefully, I plan to implement this throughout the Saudi region and all the GCC region, inshallah, hopefully. But so the financial literacy program that I am actually leading starts with what I want to be in a couple of years. And not actually a couple, but in 30 years, when I'm in my 50s, like 50s, 60s, what do I want to be? What position do I want to be at? So that kind of helps me clear out the fog of what I need to do right now. So once I know what I want in the future, I want to do 1, 2, and 3. And these are the objectives or the points that I need to achieve and accomplish to be what I want to be in the next 30, 40 years. I will be able to create a 5-year plan. And once I do that, I can follow it. And from the 5-year plan, we kind of do a 3-year plan, 1-year plan, and like, what can I start right now to achieve what I want to be in the future? And I've incorporated that into the classroom. So that's kind of the first step. And then moving forward, we see how we are managing our financials right now. How much do I have? And how much do I need? What professional certificates do I want to take? So that kind of goes into increasing human capital and reducing the knowledge and skills gap that we are facing, the problem that we're facing. So that's one. And then we go into what are the financial options that we have? So in Saudi Arabia, the Human Resource Development Fund offers a kind of financial support and reimbursement for any Saudi citizen who would like to take some sort of any type of a professional certificate. So I don't think a lot of countries do that. Hey, I want to reimburse you to take a professional certificate and develop yourself in your future. So the students need to understand that, and they need to be aware of it. So that's something that goes into the program as well. And then we go into, okay, I know what I want to be. I know where I'm currently at and what I'm going to be doing in the next few years. So how can I financially plan for that? What type of investments do I need to do? And planning in that kind of way kind of reduces or takes us out of the survival mode that a lot of people are in. A lot of people, when they don't think and plan like effectively for the future, they're kind of in a survival mode. I need to survive. I need to pay rent. I need to make ends meet. So if their job isn't secure and they're not secure like financially and emotionally, they're not really going to be able to think about the future and plan effectively and think about these investments which lead us to sustainability and climate change. You can't go to someone who's starving and tell him, hey, do you want to save the planet? He wants to save himself. So that kind of program leads us to, okay, I'm going to be, so after we've done it and we're working through our plan and what we want to accomplish, we can think about, okay, what type of consumer am I going to be? Most likely he's going to be a conscious consumer. And when you're a conscious consumer, it kind of leads you to, okay, I'm not going to buy that type of food, because there's too much plastic. It's bad for the environment. Let me opt for a healthier option that is better for the environment. Let's not waste a lot of plastic bags, and let's get a tote to carry my groceries and so on. And that kind of thinking comes from, well, I like to think of it as a luxury of not having a lot of fears and not fearing and not having a lot of anxiety of the future. And when we want to reach to that point of luxury, we need to clear up some brain storage. So if my brain storage is full and it's packed with all of these financial, all of these anxieties, especially when it comes to my financials, I won't be able to think clearly and positively. So I won't be able to think about the planet and other people and so on. I'll only be focused about myself. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And
Thank you so much, Arwa. Thank you. Let us hear from Delma. Delma, would you like to share your journey and how you are impacting people around you, the community and society? Yes.
Thank you, Professor. Yes, so I'm originally from a place called Brownsville, Texas, born and raised. It's on the border of Texas and Mexico. Really being born in this area has always driven me to service. Seeing people move from one country to another based on need really inspires you. I think growing up, after this, I went on to Texas A&M University to study, which I actually studied Arabic, which kind of led me to this region. So within my studies in Arabic, I actually had the opportunity to visit Jordan, where I had, again, the amazing opportunity to experience firsthand Satari refugee camp in 2015. This experience, of course, impacted me, as I'm sure it would to anyone witnessing, such need at such scale. The program that I was in was called Globalization and Impact. And so part of this program's curriculum was then to compare countries like Jordan, where we were studying Arabic, to GCC countries and understand the evolution of society as it pertains to culture and economies. So again, this was in 2015. They took us to Dubai, and I will never forget the first time I saw the Burj Khalifa. I was amazed, and the first thought that came to my mind was, wow, if the world can come together both financially, intellectually, spiritually, and build this tower, what can't we do actually, right? With the mobilization of people and beliefs. And so I was inspired, and I decided to switch my careers at this point and go into business, realizing that mobilizing capital for good is very powerful. And so I quite literally Googled businesses for good. And that led me to my first job at an organization called B Lab, certifying B Corp. So it's a certification, global certification, certifying companies across the world around their sustainable practices. I'm proud to say that there are a couple of B Corps in the MENA region, which is really, really exciting. And so that kind of led me through a various journeys of experiencing sustainability through different industries. So I've had the privilege to work in supply chain sustainability, asset management sustainability, climate tech sustainability, and various other fields. And I would say I would encourage anyone to try as many things as possible, because that's truly what leads you to your passion, which is where I am today. So currently I've built a team around me, and here in the UAE, I've been here for about 5 years. Started a startup about 4 years ago here, and it was going successfully in 2018, and then COVID hit, so we went under, and then I tried again. So definitely a lot of failures in my journey, but currently we're operating successfully, have a few clients both abroad and in the region, and really just looking to all the talented startups in climate tech in the region and allowing them to have to accelerate through a marketplace of climate technologies. So I'm really happy to be here. I see a lot of talent in the region, both when it comes to sustainability from a technical perspective and also a passion. So that's been my journey so far, and happy to share it.
Thank you so much, Delma, for your insights, your journey, and very inspiring as well. Well, we have Aya Sharif. Aya, would you like to share your journey, Aya?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Professor. I wanted to start my talking points by really thanking Ms. Abir for her inspirational talk. And I couldn't agree more with her, building on her speech on how being on ground is essential to drive community engagement and social impact. I want to as well thank Dr. Arwa for her very eye-opening intervention, and how she has built an interconnectedness between the world, between the realm of sustainability and accounting and money, because now one of the mounting challenges for sustainability is like a little bit tied with the budgeting challenges. And lastly, I would like to thank Delma, and I believe like you're truly like a key engine in the region to advance sustainability efforts, and would be very happy to collaborate with you in the future on some tech-led sustainability solutions and so forth. Really very happy to be among this special lineup of women. So basically, my name is Aya. I am specialized in communications and marketing, and coming from the Lebanese landscape is typically a different script, a different story. Like the development context, the sustainability context is completely a different scenario. So as you may know, Lebanon has been experiencing mounting challenges since the year 2019 with the revolution, and then with the devastating Beirut blast. So basically, our youth and all the young talents were not really focused on advancing the status quo in relation to sustainability efforts, climate change, and so forth, because we were like experiencing mounting socio-economic challenges. So our focus was basically geared towards social impact, community engagement, to support the people who are underprivileged and in an immense need. However, talking about this Beirut landscape, we were like always impressed with the resilience, the agility, and the adaptability of the Lebanese youth to trigger a change and be agents and movers of change. And looking at some insights and some, I would say, alumni success stories from from key universities in Lebanon, we see that the most sustainability talents in the region are residing from Lebanon. So this is something that we have been really taught since our higher education. Like there's a real integration between sustainability and higher education in our curricula and higher educational institutions. However, when it comes to the implementation, like the focus is more on socio-economic issues such as no poverty, hunger, and even equality. However, like talking about my journey and being specialized in communications and marketing and coming from the UN Global UN Global Compact, Lebanon ecosystem through which I served there for a couple of years, enabling and advancing businesses to enhance their needle on sustainability and corporate social responsibility through providing them with the frameworks that are aligned with the UN Global Compact 10 principles relating to labor rights, human rights, anti-corruption, and environmental consciousness. I have been always keen to have, I would say, a fusion between marketing and communications. And I would say that I had the bigger space to implement this at my last job in a creative agency, through which we started enhancing the notion of green marketing and green events in the Arab MENA region. And we have done really amazing initiatives in Saudi Arabia specifically, where we have organized events that are carbon neutral, utilizing biodegradable material, recyclable material. Same applies to Qatar. We had so many initiatives that only emphasize on green marketing practices, and this is something that we have been nurturing with our engagements and partnerships with our clients. So basically, I find that this is the like I find the marketing industry is a key enabler as well to drive the status quo in relation to sustainability and climate action. However, moving to the Canadian University Dubai, it's a completely different context through which we are basically aiming to nurture the notion of sustainability and enhancing sustainability from an educational spectrum. And we realize that students in UAE are really showcasing their keen interest in growing their careers in this arena by collaborating with multinational companies in order to build internship opportunities for our students to enhance their sustainability skill set in within the corporate sector, organizing master classes with the experts and the key industry movers and leaders, and as well working on transforming our university into a net zero institution. So I would say that my journey has been really influenced by key role models that I have been working with, who inspired me, influenced me, and always enabled me to link sustainability and social impact into everything that I do into the table. So I would say like there is no good communication or marketing without sustainability and social impact, because where's the story, where's the impact, how would we flip the narrative? And on the vice versa, I would say, what is the like if there's no appropriate and adequate communications and marketing tools, how would we be promoting our sustainability efforts and our sustainability advances? I find a very immense interconnectedness, and I look forward to fostering this impact within.
Thank you so much, Aya. Thank you. Well, I'll go back to Abir. The What are the key challenges as a young women leader? You all are very accomplished. I'm really, really proud of you all. Uh, what kind of challenges you faced as a young woman, and what is your aspirations? Like, where you want to be and how you'd like to impact in future. So the two parts on the challenges. because sometimes when you see the challenges, it disrupts us what we want to do, right? And I was reading a report. It was very distracting. Like, around $360 billion needed by 2030 to reduce that gender equality issues or the gender issues. Well, like, Abir, would you like to share some challenges and your aspirations? All of you, okay? We'll try to keep it short. Yeah, please.
Thank you for this question. It's a very excellent one, actually, on point. I think, from my experience, on top of my head, what I could share with you is that because through throughout my career, I have been working in multilateral organizations, and I'm surrounded by a global community of people from different countries from all around the world. And in many instances, I was involved with senior officials from Western countries. Western countries who usually, not all, of course, I'm not generalizing, but I'm just saying some some are thinking, I mean, some have these mindsets, yet that is a challenge, that some males and females from Western countries, especially from the Gen X uh, uh, generation, uh, and the baby boomers generation, uh, they usually uh, in their language and communications preach women empowerment, but in reality, actually, I've faced it, I've experienced it, they don't want to empower females. They do it just for media purposes. It's not genuine, and that is wrong. That's one challenge. Another challenge is, I don't like when people try to say we want to empower specifically like Middle Eastern women because they're marginalized, or Asian women, or Latin American, or Indian, whatever. I think we should see heroes. I think our children and people from my generation and younger people specifically should see more heroes that are from their race. We need to have diversity. We don't need to empower women from Middle East or India or China or anywhere in the world. No, everybody, has to have a hero from where they come from, and I think that's essential, in communication. So they don't need to be uplifted. No, they need to actually be given the know-how and compete on a fair competition level, I think, and that comes with education and also financial literacy. We spoke about that earlier. Arwa said that, and many other things. Education is key, and now we have the internet, so there's no excuse. Parents and us can always expose ourselves to many knowledge through internet. We don't have to even ruin or contribute more to carbon emissions by traveling. We have the internet and we can use that. That's one thing. And my aspiration, besides these are a few challenges, my aspiration is maybe to not to overemphasize, on like, because sometimes it discourages or undermines the cause when you overemphasize women empowerment. They're half of the society, and they're empowered and they're there. So I think they should be integrated because they're already integrated in the society. We cannot always. We're not in 1990s. It's 2024. So I think the integration is there. Yes, we have to work more on that, but maybe work on different aspects, not education, not health, not topics that we used to work on in the 90s, 80s, early 2000s. No, we need to work on other topics like human trafficking, women trafficking, and modern slavery, stuff like that, I think. So, yeah, these are my insights on the topic. But excellent question. Thank you for bringing it
Thank you
up.
so much, Abir. Yeah, yeah. Because like there are many challenges, and we all face. And to me, I am very happy to see in the audience we have many males as well. So that is my aspiration to work together. Is not male only or female only or something like that. It's like a uneven competition. We belong to the society where we all need to work together. So I think this is very important, and that's our aspiration to include rather than gender equality cluster in our center. We are trying to establish inclusivity centers. So where everybody will have a fair chance, and we'll discuss on that. Well, I would like to ask Arwa, in brief, Arwa, what challenges did you face, and what is your aspirations for impacting your country and your society, please?
Yeah, first of all, I agree with Princess Abir 100%. And when it comes to the challenges that I faced, uh, given my background, my father's an accounting professor, so I kind of know he kind of went through the obstacles before me, and I kind of mitigated while I was, studying and going through. I need to get my PhD, by the way. So that's one. I feel like I was empowered through mentorship, and it's not based on my gender, but based on I had mentors. I was lucky enough to have mentors, which Professor Noor Nabi is one of them, actually. So that was part of my empowerment. I had people that taught me that I can do what I have to do and what I want to do, and I feel like that we have to expand on that. And part of my future aspirations is to kind of expand my financial literacy program throughout the region and have as many people as possible that could benefit from it, inshallah, hopefully in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arwa. Aya, would you like to share some challenges? Because you from Lebanon, you're working in UAE now. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I want to stress on the importance of Mrs. Zabir's intervention, and I couldn't agree more. However, I wanted to raise another challenge that we women face in the professional landscape. And specifically, since we're talking on International Women's Day, I wanted to bring to the table as well another topic that we usually suffer is that we always speak about celebrating women, empowering women. However, women tend to not support and empower one another in the workplace. So I would say one of my primarily challenges that I have faced in my career journey is that I wasn't really surrounded and affiliated with supporting women, and I had, I would say, a bullying experience, which I had to go to a therapist to really bounce back stronger than ever. So I'm taking I'm grasping the opportunity of this gathering to say that, as Ms. Abir was saying, we don't want other communities to empower us and to call for our greater representation and to speak about our leadership and talents. But at the same time, we Arab women and women coming from the Arab MENA region, we really need to support one another, and we really need to empower one another. And whenever we see a talent, we really need to acknowledge this talent and give it the space and the room to prosper, to thrive, and to flourish. Because honestly, within the Arab region, there is something that I'm being very frank, but I really want to bring this input into the table, because I would say no matter what policy formulations, what legislations, what corporate policies, what initiatives are being done, if this mindset is not from within us and we don't work collectively on it, then what is the role of these policies, these initiatives, these programs, these accelerators? So I hope that this gathering as well is a reminder that we as women, we should work on empowering one another, supporting one another, acknowledging the efforts, the talents, the skill sets of one another, and uh, dealing with one another in an authentic, transparent manner. Because if we don't join our efforts and build a collective momentum to enhance the needle on gender equality between ourselves, then how can we ask men to support us, you know? So this is a primary challenge that I have been facing. uh, and now whenever I have any woman intern working with me at the university, or any like a junior manager working alongside me, or a freelancer or whatever, I tend always to empower them and to remind them always that they're here to leave, like to make value and to leave a print. So empowering, like we only rise by empowering others.
Yeah,
And I hope this gathering is a reminder on this key aspect.
Can I?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, Savir, go on.
Yeah, yeah. I really like what Aya said, so I felt the urge to comment. So yeah, I really want to echo what she said. I think it's very important in any situation, whether it's a woman cause or a peace building situation or whatever. Ownership has to be there. You know, women
Hmm.
should own. You know, what the projects. You know, they shouldn't be led
Right.
by others. Ownership is important. That's one thing. And also, I believe that uh, I was on top of my mind something wanted to say that was really important. Um, Yeah, what I wanted to say is that what disappoints me a lot is that a lot of women in leadership positions, senior leadership positions, are the ones who are not uplifting each other, and they're operating.
Hmm.
They think being loud is actually, you know, the right way of leadership. While if you read history about successful women leaders, you'll
Hmm.
find that they are very soft with their leadership. So being loud is okay, and being soft should be also acceptable. We need to accept both types of leaderships and not enforce all women to become, you know, have this loud attitude in leadership. Both are okay, but we need to accept both. And actually, leading from a soft place can achieve more impact. That's
Yeah.
from, you know, a lot of case studies that I've been observing. So that's something I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, Savir. I think, one thing I would like to highlight, especially on the gender issues, we are creating the cluster of inclusivity. It will be a series of, the discussions. And what is the purpose of this discussion? Is this discussion happened and halas, nothing will go forward? No. So from this discussion, there will be some points we will share with you all from our MENA region. We will do something for Africa, Asia, Latin America, and so on. Collectively, globally, we will see some key challenges, some of the common challenges, some of the regional challenges, and it will be ongoing throughout the year, you know. So it's not we are doing just for the March 8 and khalas, thank you, is done. Like all these beautiful poster in the social media. No, we are taking it very seriously. And the whole objective, we need to hear like, challenges globally. And this is from the MENA region, from Saudi. We are very committed on these issues and would like to share our experience, hear your experiences, and the collective challenges, collective success stories. Because sometimes, like girls from maybe in India or in Africa having a very successful stories, we need to share those things, so this is the platform where we will share our success and the women's success. It could be below 30, above 30, and so on. Because the challenges based on the age group, different kind of challenges. Those who are the leaders, they might have another challenges. We don't know. So that is our aspiration to create this kind of platform. Yes, Aya, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I wanted to stress on the fact that Ms. Abir was saying, and I wanted to go back in history when the Prime Minister of New Zealand, specifically during her last period of her mandate, in one of her appearances, she said that kindness couldn't be perceived as a weakness, specifically in leadership. And she highlight. I just want to quote her when she said that kindness is the most underrated character trait in the leadership arena and the world of business. So I would say that you cannot bring up the best of people around you and like build a nurtured and an empowered community if you don't really, I would say, adopt an empathetic leadership style for the common collective good.
Very good. Thank you, Aya. I will go to Delma. Before that, from my own experience, since I'm academic and I have interaction around the globe, I'm very proud of, I'm not saying the male are bad or something, but some key statistics from my own life is not in the World Economic Forum. But you, as the young, you are the highest achievers. Very proud of you all. Very committed. In my class, I see. So always last 15, 16 years of my academic career experience around the globe, wherever it is in the UK or in Saudi, all regions I see the women are the highest achievers in the classroom. Very committed on their project, very committed. I hear from my colleagues in the market, they are outperforming. So this is your strength, you know. So this should be disseminated. When somebody is outperforming, of course they need to be given a better chance, right? Well, Delma, would you like to share some challenges? What you faced? What is your future aspirations?
Thank you, Professor. Yeah, I would just like to say I was very inspired by Prince Sabir's like transparency at the beginning, kind of sharing her personal experiences. I that really resonated with me. As a young woman entrepreneur, I've whether it's imposter syndrome because of lack of heroes and mentors, or whether it's reality, who knows? Perhaps a little bit of both. But definitely, as a businesswoman, I've encountered a lot of prejudice. People don't believe I'm capable of doing what I say I'm capable of doing. And then once I kind of, I guess, demonstrate it with my actions, they're often shocked, which has been quite the experience for me. But I've definitely found mentors in both male colleagues as well as women. I've been fortunate enough to kind of overcome that through mentorship, and there will always be, I think, someone who believes in you and what you're capable of. So that has been a really kind of a success story there for me. And in terms of my aspirations in the region, I've talked to many entrepreneurs, both women and male, in the climate tech space. And I really see there's a really growing network of women in tech. And I love this. I love to see this. I was recently at Leap in Riyadh and really just spoke to so many really smart women in technology. And it's, again, I was very, very inspired. And given what I do and the platform that I currently have, I inspire to hire them in the company as well as accelerate their growth and their success in the region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Delma. Very inspiring. Well, I will ask a very brief on about your COP29 expectations, and also COP16 will happen in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia in December, right after the COP. So, I was listening Dr. Razan Mubarak, the climate champion on COP28, and she made a very good statement on this climate change agenda cannot be achieved without the full engagement of the women as a climate justice. So, what is your expectation as a young women leader in your country? So, I'd like to start from Abir.
Yeah, so I think actually into this year, 2024, and we had this discussion together with you, Professor. I think it's a very unique year because
Yeah.
it is the first time in the history of the United Nations where all three Rio conventions are going to be happening in 2024 from October, November, and
In
December. So
December.
exactly. So we have in October. For those who don't know, we have COP 16 in October, COP 29 in October in Azerbaijan, and then on climate, and then we have COP 16 about biodiversity in Colombia in November, and then finally we have COP 16 again in Saudi Arabia that will focus on desertification. The thing that I want to note before tackling the topic that you want me to focus on, I think there has to be a lot of education about carbon literacy for all
Mm-hmm.
of us to prepare ourselves for these conventions, three conventions. Um, the most misunderstood COP, I think, is the COP 16, the one on desertification, because it's actually people misunderstand that it's not about really the desertification as we know it. It's more about land degradation, and 99% of the food that we take as humans is from land, by the way, not the sea.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all related to COP 16, and it's very important. So I think that we are at a stage that uh, I think representation of women and youth is going to be equal with representation of males.
Mm-hmm.
My only concern is not that. My concern is, why do we have all the three conventions separately? Why is everything done in silos? I think this is something that we could write about as a
Mm-hmm.
recommendation and talk about. Why not have all three COPs under one umbrella, under one convention? This will actually achieve reducing the travel, issues of carbon emissions.
Emissions and so on. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it would be great. And then at the same time, there are intersections between the three COPs, and we can learn from each
Other. Yeah.
one of them. Exactly. And I wish that maybe as a deliverable this year, that we could, as a civil society, if we participate, for example, the think tanks, the center that you're leading and we're part of, and also the think tanks and academia for COP 16, we should, you know advocate for policy into in having working groups that writes a communique, even if it's non-binding, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
voluntary, to see how we can integrate all deliverables into one document. I think that's very essential.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I really agree with you, Abir, because this is very important and the point you brought, like why not on place, on agenda, so it will reduce a lot of carbon footprint, everyone together rather than several discussions and so on. I completely agree with you. Delma, what is your expectation from COP29?
Yeah, again. I had the privilege to experience COP 28 in the UAE, and it was absolutely, again, an amazing experience. I will share something, a personal experience quickly, and why it led me to expect this for 29. I had kind of the privilege, because it was a coincidence, to meet indigenous youth representing various parts of the world, parts of like indigenous tribes in Canada, as well as Australian. And when we were speaking to each other, they said, you know what we lack, Delma? We lack intersectionality, which was something I had never thought about. Yes, they're indigenous, but they're also youth, and one was a man and one was a woman, and they get impacted differently. And one had children and the other one didn't. There was just so much intersectionality that I think what I would look forward to the next COP is speaking more about how climate affects intersectionality. Not only, are you young, but you're a woman, or not only are you a woman, but you're also a woman of color. Not only, and the list is extensive. So I think that's something we should really consider and not take for granted and just lump everybody over, women, young women. Like there's so much more complexity to that.
Thank you, Delma. Aya, what is your expectation for COP29? Yes.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I can't build more on the amazing insights shared by all of the panelists for today. However, I would say that working in silence is something that has really to be ended up very soon. And I would say COP28 should be just as a continuation.
Yeah,
And
COP29. Yes.
yeah, COP20, yeah, COP29 has to be just a continuation of what has been discussed at COP28, and it should be a global collective agenda with a multidisciplinary approach for all people to come together and to start delivering. So now more than ever, we cannot only abide with preaching sessions, commentary sessions, keynote speeches, plenary discussions. It's more about like walking the talk and delivering impact. So my expectations is to grow the ambition and to grow the impact in terms of policy formulation, impactful policy formulation, to enhance the needed vis-a-vis sustainability from various spectrums, whether from the governmental spectrums, businesses, or even the educational landscape, legislations, and building, I would say, collective momentum through which countries and states of the world come together to have like real tangible work that is beyond delivering speeches and so forth. I would say that the COP28 28 UAE has been an incremental and a key milestone. And I would say that another expectation from COP29 is to just like shift the gears from setting plans and so forth and start reporting on progress.
Thank you so much, Aya. Arwa, what is your expectation of COP29 this year?
What the panelists have added is so amazing, and I 100% agree with it. But I also think that we should see it we should view this from a like more technical perspective rather than pushing political agendas and using it as a bargaining power over certain areas of the world, especially the GCC. So that's kind of my input on it. Let's see it from a technical perspective and let's actually do something rather than use, climate change and all the environmental ESGs and all those things as a bargaining power to gain whatever some countries want to gain over it.
Wow.
So I kind of
It's a
think
big,
that
big agenda you brought in. Aya, you raised your hand. Would you like to?
Yeah, one more thing that like I expect from COP29 to bring aggressively on the table is climate finance, since we know that developing countries really are muddling through with socio-economic crisis. So and they often seek financial support from developed nations to implement climate mitigation and adaptation measures. So my biggest expectation is to shine the spotlight as well, more thoroughly on climate finance to support developing countries more to advance their efforts and their deliveries vis-a-vis climate adaptation, and having more increased commitments and more transparent mechanisms for the flow of funds, specifically in developing countries. Another Another thing that I really wanted to highlight, I think like Miss Amira has already highlighted, is the youth and the civil society engagement. There has been an amazing engagement for the youth and the civil society community at COP28 here in the UAE. However, like having this growing emphasis on involving the youth and civil society in climate discussions couldn't be unnoticed. So I would say like a key expectation is to have a replica of what has been practiced here in COP28 as well in COP29, and with an increased engagement, representation, and acknowledgement of the role of these groups. And more importantly, and this is something that everyone has highlighted, is the global cooperation and the multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary cooperation to end this work in silence for a real collective impact.
Thank you so much, Aya. And as I told you, this platform, we will create the global inclusive society, the young group, and also the women as a whole. And we will have our voice, I mean, like collectively. Thank you, Aya. Those who joined, regardless male or female, you all open your cam. I'll give you 30 seconds, each of you. It's just, to celebrate the happy International Women's Day 2024. What is your expectation? Just 30 seconds, all of you. Okay. So I will start from my panel because, and then I will go to all of you. Uh, okay. Who going to start from our panel? Yeah, Abir, Arwa, Delma, Aya. Any of you start? Just 30 seconds. What is your expectation? Like, this International Women's Day.
Uh, I would like to start. My expectation is to build a great momentum here within this community, and to keep this momentum energized and activated, and to have these amazing gatherings on a regular basis, to exchange insights, multidisciplinary knowledge, and at some places to trigger this, like to keep this enthusiasm and boost our energies in order to keep giving back to the community, and like delivering social impact. And another key expectation is to engage more the youth with us, engage more students from the higher education ecosystem with us, and have them as a key, I would say, drivers of our conversations and our future discussions.
Thank you so much, Aya. Princess Abir? Okay. She's the Arwa.
Yeah, so my expectation is that we, as Aya mentioned, that we should support the youth and support especially the students, because they are the future. They're the ones that are going to go into the work industry and exchange the experiences amongst the women leaders in the current industry, and see how different industries how they are affected by different industries, and what we are doing collectively to help each other out, and just to grow. But the main focus, as what I've been currently doing, is focusing on students, because they are the future.
Thank you. Delma?
Yeah, I would really like to see more women in tech, especially from different industries. I think there's a lot of power in having women with different backgrounds join tech. So I would love to see that. I think everything around us is technology now, and we should create it equally and fairly to serve everyone. So that's one of my big expectations.
Thank you. Abir, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes,
Yes.
yes, I can hear you. Can you please
Yes.
rephrase the question again, please?
Okay, so it's just 30 seconds. What is your expectation from the International Women's Day 2024?
Can you repeat that? I didn't quite get it.
What is your expectation from International Women's Day 2024?
my expectation is to continue celebrating
Yeah.
International Women's Day every day, not just today.
I agree with you. Thank you. Uh, Felipe, just all of you open your cam because we are just finishing another few minutes. So just all of you open your cam and to, I think you muted Felipe. Yeah.
Thank you very much, you all, to be contributing. Yes, the first point is that there's 364 other days. So tomorrow continue, and we build from yesterday. The second point, I think, was very important. That what Princess Abir and Miss Aya, and I think you all agree. No need to be a hard woman and to have hard leadership to have leadership.
Mm.
No need to look like a white, arrogant man to be a leader and to be a role model. So what you said about, yeah, you can be nice, gentle, firm, and there is a woman style. That's yeah, very very important. And the third point, very quickly, today I was actually discussing with my wife. She's the brain of the family. I am not. And
Okay.
I was trying to identify two categories of success to share that with my daughters. Uh, and unfortunately, I could only I fall in the trap of finding two male role models. Let's say we need to find two type of, well, because we were comparing normal cleverness to special genius that are dyslexic, that have different abilities, and everybody can be successful. And unfortunately, I couldn't find woman role model. So I'm going to work on that, and I think we need to find a role model on woman for all of you. Thank you very much. And we are a team, by the way. We are a team. Thank you very much.
Oh, Prof, are you?
Yeah, sorry, I had the internet issues. Thank you very much, Felipe. It's a very valid point. Okay, we have Dr. Parisha. Be
Hi
very brief,
everyone.
30 seconds, yes.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I cannot share my camera anymore. I'm in a busy place right now. I want just to first thanks everyone, Abir and Arwa and all of the other panelists. They were very inspiring. As someone who actually was born and brought up in Middle East, I wish I could say that I didn't experience inequality, but I did as a woman. And coming back to what Delma mentioned, I joined engineering, software engineering, when computers were kind of very new. So I do remember when I applied for the first job in my hometown, I was actually told, do you know how to turn on the computer? And I was like, I'm actually C#
Wow.
coder. So it was quite hard to fight for the normal rights, and still living half of my age in UK, as Abir mentioned, you will see the same thing when it's a woman in an interview, which she is, for example, pregnant for any reason, she will be rejected, although she is much better than equivalent of a male version. So unfortunately, these things are there. And continuing on what Delma mentioned, I really, really hope that we can get more women in tech and STEM engineering courses, and to change the future. Why? Because the brain of the women and men work differently. So it's good to have both male and the female in any positions. The other thing is, which I actually send it as a message to Professor Muhammad, is behind any successful woman, a man who understands the success of a woman and encourage them for having equal opportunities. And I think Professor Muhammad proven that he's one of them. So thank you, Professor Muhammad, for